it's been a while, and it's been a long, strange trip to not play as long as we have, and to have all the other assortment of interesting adventures along our journey this year. And it's good to have a win. It's good for our players in that locker room to feel like what winning is again, and not coming up a little short like we've had a lot this year. And so we're hoping that that win will propel us forward, and have a lot. Obviously Libby Basilak is our go-to and our engine, and she's looking better and better. Still not 100%, but was really happy with how Libby played today, how Libby led our team. But other contributions, Laya Soleil, we played a lot through her in the first half, and she was excellent scoring the ball, rebounding the ball, and passing the ball, passing more than anything. And then Nye Langley came off the bench and played her best game as a Duquesne Duke, and I couldn't be more happy for Nye. Nye's had a lot of not problems or turmoil, but she's had a lot of adversity, in the last 2 years with her injury, and some other things happened to her. And I think we're starting to see what Nye can provide, because what she did today, she's been doing in practice for the last couple of weeks, and she looks like she's getting better and better step by step. So we're happy to get the win today, and we'll celebrate this till midnight, and then we'll begin to focus on Rhode Island and our senior day.
Dan, you mentioned a little bit just the general excitement over winning. Was there I don't know necessarily want to say is there a longing for that, but was there any instinct on how to maybe teach the girls what it meant to win, or valuing winning more than just these losing games, especially how you guys have consistently lost games in similar fashion?
I think we know how to win, especially our upperclassmen. And for a lot of the year we didn't have Libby, and that really hurt us. And we've been in the end zone a lot in my career, and you got to know how to act when you're in the end zone. And so we didn't go into the locker room here and spray water on the coaches or on each other, or dump a Gatorade cooler, because when we play, we expect to win. And it's been a tough month or two for us for all the various reasons we've discussed before, but we acted like we had been in the end zone before, and we're hoping to get back to that end zone on a regular occurrence as we finish up the regular season.
To close the game the way you did, really polished it on both ends of the floor, making enough free throws, making enough offensive plays, getting the defensive stop. How do you make sure that efforts like this at the end of games become more contagious efforts?
Well, I think that our efforts in other games where we've lost close, and pretty much most of our games where we've lost close battles, other than the GW and Dayton games, have been a scenario where maybe we didn't have upperclassmen leadership on the floor. We didn't have Libby, and when you don't have the best point guard, arguably in the Atlantic 10, that's going to really affect you, especially when the experience around you is very limited. And so, we're taking everything a step by step. And again, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with that single step. And we played well for 2 quarters at George Washington. And after the game, I said to the team, when we go to George Mason, we need to play well for 3 quarters. Let's win the first 3 quarters and hang in on the 4th. And it didn't happen quite that way. We lost the first quarter, but then we won the last 3. And it was a scenario where we were able to finish the game, and we finished that game with Libby Basilak leading us, our leader.
You mentioned Nye earlier, Dan. I know she got some minutes against Ohio State, and then things kind of cut off. She had the layoff for a couple of weeks there. Just how good is it, you mentioned a little bit, to see her progress, and what can you expect to see her role with moving forward, even with some of those bodies that have been missing returning?
Well, all of us have had significant adversity as we have gone through the pandemic, but Nye has had adversity that's much different, that I won't address, but it's significant, and it was not brought on by anything negative. And we're just happy that she's being able to move on from that. I think the basketball court is her safe place, and we're really happy with how she performed today. And I don't think she has to think when she's on the court. She's able to go out and she's able to play. But yet, I want it to be understood. She's an intelligent player. Late in the game, she was guarding their best shooter, and she understood, that she can't help off in any sort of way. She face guarded her and really made it difficult for them to find 24 for any sort of open looks. And so, the best basketball for Nye is ahead of her. And hopefully the tragedies that have happened and some of the adversity that has happened to her over the last 2 years, including her knee injury, are over, and we've moved forward. And again, it's another step, and hopefully on Tuesday when we go to practice, it'll be another step.
You mentioned keeping things simple, Dan, within your last answer. Just how has this team started to simplify things, not just because of the pandemic and you guys being shut down, but just generally making things easier, seeing the court maybe making it a little bit wider?
Today was an example. Mason was switching everything, and our spacing was really poor because they were switching everything, and we were on top of one another. And we went into, I believe it was the last media timeout or at the end of the third quarter, and I said, spacing is offense, and offense is spacing. And so anytime we feed the post, we don't want to be on top of one another, and we want to have that speed cut, but then we don't need to have a second speed cut. Somebody's going to be open on the perimeter because the defenders are going to turn their head and see what Laya is doing because she's been so successful at passing the ball. And I think that we benefited from that a little bit. We didn't make a ton of shots, but we made key shots, and we battled today. We played hard, and some days, and we've played hard, and some days you don't come up with the loose ball, or you don't come up with the bucket, you don't come up with the free throw, and you take an L. And unfortunately, that happened for us this year a little bit too much, and it's very rare for that to happen for us. But tonight, those loose balls and those free throws and those little plays that are 50-50 plays went our way, and we were able to get the win.
What does it say that those 50-50 plays are going well for you guys, that you're still battling, even though it was a 7-game losing streak, that you remained engaged, even with the lockdown, nothing towards that mindset ever changed or wavered?
First, I had no idea it was a 7-game losing streak. No one's even mentioned that. Nobody. We look at ourselves as 1-1. When you don't play for 26 days or 27 days, whatever it was that we last played before GW, you're really starting a second season. And so, we really look at this as almost like a rebirth in a second season. Are we going to win the rest of the games in our regular season? Probably not. But what we're trying to do is get better day by day, step by step, so that we're playing our best basketball when we get to the conference tournament. And we measure that by wins, certainly. We're a Division I program and a proud Division I program. But those measurables also happen in 50-50 balls. How often we get to the free throw line, how often we dive, how many charges that we take, things of that sort. And we saw more of those tonight. And so I'm real proud of what the kids brought. We have a group of women that very simply, you're starting to see more and more teams pack it in for whatever reasons. And our women are the exact opposite. The basketball court gives them peace. It gives them happiness and safety. And they're excited about playing out the remainder of our season and going to Richmond.
I know you can't go too much into specifics in terms of scheduling, but how much effort has been made to try to make up any of these lost contests? And regardless, if it does work out, how nice would it be for you all to maybe get into some more of a rhythm with A10s around the corner?
I haven't really thought about the rhythm part of it. I'm sure that will benefit us. I know the Atlantic 10 is making every effort in their scheduling to find additional dates for everyone to play, especially teams like Duquesne, and I believe St. Louis and St. Joe's are in a similar boat where we haven't played a ton of league games for whatever reasons. And so I anticipate a phone call tomorrow or on Tuesday with some sort of scheduling opportunity. But what that'll be, who knows? That's, I keep saying it's 2020. I know it's 2021, but it's really 2020 to me. It's just a year of chaos and craziness, and we're gonna make it the best that we can, and we're gonna embrace it and enjoy it.
Awesome. Anything on your end, Ryan?
I'm all set.
I didn't screw
Uh,
up. That's rare.
Well, I appreciate you guys being here, and I appreciate you supporting women's basketball. And I'll say it again. Let's all say a prayer for Dom. Let's hope he fights. Okay, he will fight. We know that. We know he will fight. Let's all say a prayer for Dom. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you on Thursday.